following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score Breakdown Show, brought to you by Hoop Ball. My name is Adrian Benjamins, and I'm joined by Neil Rochlani. Neil, how are you?
Adrian, it's good to be back on with you. We were last night, but I really messed up the recording. My volumes were so high that it was all crackling. And then I tried to frantically text you like in the middle of the night to say, get up, let's do another show. And I just did it on my own. I'm so sorry to cut you out. You said some great things last night. And I just...
Number one,
yes,
I feel bad that you had to re-record a whole nother show after you and I had talked for, well, man, we talked for like an hour. So that's the first thing, man. Don't say sorry to me, man. I feel bad that you had to record a whole nother show. That's not easy to do on your own. So I feel really bad about that. And then number two, the one thing, though, that I am bummed about is we had a great conversation about Zion Williamson. And I'm bummed that we missed that because I get geeked anytime I get to talk about him, man.
Yeah, we did. I totally forgot about that. And I got your email. I just got home. I didn't have time to look through it. But
oh my gosh.
I cannot wait to watch him. It'll probably be this weekend.
Yes.
Anyway, and this is the future of the NBA, right? Zion is one of them.
Oh, man. So just a little gist of what we talked about yesterday. I mentioned what a freak this guy is because, you know, Neil, I mentioned that every once in a while there's a guy that comes in the NBA that we've never seen before, like Shaquille O'Neal, like just guys that they're so completely different than the mold. And this guy, Zion, Neil, I was telling you, 6'7", but weighs 285 pounds. Like the size of there's only one guy in the NBA that's bigger than him, and that's Bogdan. But Neil, for a guy that size, he's got a 45-inch vertical jump, can dunk from the free throw line. He's like a ballerina on the court. And it's just so strange to see a guy that big be so athletic and so bouncy. It's crazy, man. I can't wait for you to see him. I sent you a little 3-minute video of him, and it's going to blow your mind.
I'm sure. I saw the quote from Coach K down at Duke, who said he was graceful. I am looking forward to watching that video.
You know, Steve Kerr also had a comment last night, coach of the Warriors, and he said, you know, I thought LeBron was a one-time shot. I guess I was wrong. Here comes Zion. Like, as in, man, like you feel like there's this once-in-a-generation type player, and then bam, all of a sudden another guy comes along. And what's crazy, Neil, Zion's not even being projected as the number one pick in this draft. He's like, I think he's ranked like number 5 or something right now. So it's just crazy to think about, man. And by the way, Duke, Kentucky yesterday, Kentucky was supposed to be the number 1 team, and I think Duke blew them out by like 30 points, man. I'm kind of curious if Duke can beat like the worst NBA team, right? We always do that, right?
Right. Right. Man. Yeah, basketball is in full swing in the pros and now in college. We have to scout out some guys, you know.
Yeah, it's fun.
Anyway, we should probably transfer into some NBA news, NBA notes. What I am seeing. Is there anything that you want to talk about before we get into the box scores?
I don't have a lot as far as news goes. I'm trying to think of anything big, non-game related. Let's just jump into it, man. We got a huge slate of games tonight.
We do.
Should we just jump right into it? Who went first last time?
Yeah. I think I went first, but let's just quickly mention that Westbrook is, of course, out, but it doesn't look like it's. We'll see how long that's going to be. Schroeder is starting, and then Dragic was ruled out tonight, so I don't think it's anything serious. It's just a sore right knee. And then Draymond's out tomorrow as well against the Bucks. It's a right toe sprain, and it's we'll see how long that lasts. It's not expected to be long. So no injury news that is significant. What we saw last year was a lot of resting when guys get nicked up, and I think that's going to be the case this year in the NBA as well. So you see a lot of these guys just rest when they're a little sore, but nothing extended except for we'll have to keep an eye on Westbrook's ankle.
You know what?
Yeah.
I do have some news. We got the return of some potential solid fantasy assets.
That's
we
right.
saw Bogdan come back, right? Mm-hmm. Bogdanovic, and we saw the return of Derrick White. So I believe they both played tonight. So we'll get more into detail on how they looked tonight. But that's kind of exciting news, right, Neil?
Yeah, a couple, a good wing and a good point guard potentially to pick up if they're still out there. Certainly in 10-team leagues, they're probably out there. 12-team leagues, they might be scooped up already. But we can talk about them. Don't want to give away the game just yet. You want to start us off? I think it was wherever you want to go, but I think Cleveland was the first game on my list.
You did an entire show by yourself. I'm going to start us off, and I'm going to, as you said, I'm going to go with Detroit. I believe they actually played Orlando. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So Detroit getting the win here, 103-96. I'm going to jump right into the Detroit side, Neil. And the reason why, Neil, the last game, we saw some interesting things with the rotation. We saw Robinson getting the start. We saw some big games from Langston Galloway. And so I really wanted to watch to see what happened in this game. And I'm going to start with Blake Griffin, though. 20 points, a steal, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, a 3. He only shot 7-17, but pretty nice game from him. Big double-double from Andre Drummond. And, it's crazy because Whiteside had a bigger double-double tonight, which we'll see later on. But Drummond with 23 points, 19 rebounds, 1 block, 3 steals, 2 assists, 10-16. Neil, a perfect 2-2 from the line. This is a great line from Drummond tonight. Let's hope he can keep this up. Neil, Robinson the third, a guy I've been watching after he kind of had a nice game in the last one. This one's a little disappointing with only 9 points. Didn't have any other stat here other than a 3. So no defensive stats, no assists, no rebounds, nothing here. Now, he did go 4 of 4 from the line. As I said, he added a 3. And the 27 minutes is nice, Neil. So I'm going to continue to keep an eye on Robinson, man. I think he could be really interesting. Reggie Jackson, 15 points, 5 turnovers is not great. No steal, no blocks, 4 assists, a rebound. He did have a 3, shot 5 of 11, 4 of 5 from the line. Pretty decent game. Reggie Bullock back from an injury, Neil. Didn't look good in this one. Only played 18 minutes and had a point. Not much else. Was 0 of 6 from the field. Pretty bad game. Neil, off the bench, one guy I want to talk about. I might be making a move on this guy in some deep 14-team leagues. Langston Galloway. 3rd game in a row, Neil, with a useful line here. He's continuing to see minutes in this mid to high 20 range. I'm in 14-team leagues. I think I might scoop him up where I need some help. 12 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds, 4 threes tonight. Love that he, helped you in some other categories, gave you some threes. I like this guy, Neil. Not too much else to talk about here. What do you think about the Detroit Pistons, man?
Yeah, it's good. It's interesting to see how this rotation plays out. Glenn Robinson getting 27 minutes, Bullock 18 in return, and then Galloway. I don't think I would own in a regular league, standard league, any of those guys, but Galloway, he had a plus-minus of 20. That's one of the stats I look at pretty carefully to see how guys are helping off the bench or if they're in a limited role. And I think you should definitely pick him up in a deeper league. He's had 3 good games in a row. In the past, he's produced. He's not someone who's ever the first option, but he can play a significant role, especially as a 6-man. So I like picking him up in deeper leagues. And then Reggie Jackson, I would just say, as a low-end point guard, in in one of my leagues, I have all three of my point guards are injured, and I don't know what to do. I can't drop any of them, or I could, but I don't want to. And at one point, I streamed Reggie Jackson. It's tough to do, but I think he might be worth it. So I'm keeping an eye on him. In addition to Glenn Robinson, like you said, and Bullock. Although Bullock hasn't really performed all that great, even in his short time in the NBA. I mean, I think he's going to be a pretty good NBA player, but so far he's still developing and doesn't have much fantasy value yet.
All right, man.
All right, yeah, sorry. I didn't, yeah.
Should we move into the Orlando Magic? What happened over there, man?
Oh, man, Orlando. They lost the game, but they had some really good stat lines tonight. Start with Aaron Gordon, 15 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block, a three-pointer. Uwundu, I think that's how it's pronounced, played 18 minutes, 4 points, just took 3 shots and had a steal, so he's still not really fantasy relevant. Vucevic, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 of 2 from the free throw line and a block. Evan Fournier had a great night shooting, 27 points on 12 of 19 shooting, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 three-pointers, 3 steals. Just a great night for someone if you drafted him late. DJ Augustine, remember we talked about him having hot nights and cold nights? Tonight he was back on. Maybe a better option than Reggie Jackson. It's hard to know from a game-to-game basis. Tonight he was a little bit better with 16 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 three-pointers. And then another person off the bench who can get you points and 3-pointers if you're in deeper leagues. Terrence Ross played another 28 minutes tonight, has been averaging right around there. Tonight put up 15 points on 12 shots, 6 of 12 shooting, 4 rebounds, and also got 2 3-pointers and a steal and a block. So good to see that. The rest of the bench is kind of irrelevant for most leagues. What I like about this is Ross is really filled in as a 6-man role there, off the bench scorer. I usually in some of my leagues, that's one of the positions I kind of wait and don't really care about in the beginning of the season. There's usually guys on the waiver wire you can pick up. And Bullock is one of those guys. I don't think he's good enough. Ross might be good enough in 12-team leagues. Certainly in 14 or deeper, I think he's relevant now. What are your thoughts on Orlando?
Ross can score, man. That's the one thing he does very well, and I really like the usage. Took 12 shots tonight, and also love the minutes, 28 minutes tonight. And, we may not see Jonathan Isaac for a while, and I think he's benefiting from that. So I love your take on Ross, man. If you need points, you need some threes, I think he's your guy for sure. And then, as you mentioned, man, DJ Augustine back was on tonight. And as you mentioned with trying to compare him with Reggie Jackson, they're so similar as in they're very up and down. Both guys can either give you a good line like they both did tonight, or they can give you a stinker the next game. And so if you're desperate, I think you got to kind of write out the averages there. All right, man. Shall we move on to the next one?
Let's do it.
All right. I got the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Cavs next up, and the Thunder getting the win here, 95-86. I'm going to start in on the Cavs, and Neil, a guy that you and I are hoping emerges this season, Colin Sexton, 15 points, a block, an assist, 2 rebounds. So nice scoring from him tonight. 7 of 14 from the field, 1 3. I hope he can get some of these help out in some of these other stats, though. As a point guard, we'd love to see him get more assists, maybe a steal. So hopefully these numbers come up here. I should note before I get going, no George Hill in this one. Kevin Love, we know, is going to be out for a while. I think George Hill's injury is minor, so I'd expect him to be back soon. J.R. Smith, who is actually also filling in for another guy who's out, Sam Decker, having a pretty good game here. 13 points, a steal, a block, 2 assists, a rebound, 3 threes tonight. Was only 5 of 17 from the field. But, Neil, the good news is, if you want to look at the bright side, got big minutes, got over 30 minutes, and took the most shots actually tied for the most shots on this team with Jordan Clarkson. So the usage is there. So, man, in deep leagues, J.R. Smith might be someone to watch or to think about. Neil, Tristan Thompson double-double tonight with 10 points, 15 rebounds. Didn't have a defensive stat. Didn't have he doesn't shoot threes. He didn't go to the line. So I guess it's not a great line here, but 5 of 13 from the field. Rodney Hood with 11 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 threes. A pretty game here. Neil, Cedi Osman left this game with an injury. Only played 6 minutes. Put up pretty much a goose egg. Did have 1 rebound, but that's about it. So if you played Cedi Osman tonight, you probably were very disappointed. And let's wait to see how serious his injury is. I don't think it's anything too bad, but let's keep an eye on this situation. Jordan Clarkson, 11 points, a steal, 8 assists, 9 rebounds. A pretty good game from him, man. He's been pretty relevant all season, and the 33 minutes tonight looked really good. Another guy I think we might have to think about picking up, Larry Nance Jr., Neil, with no Kevin Love and then no Sam Decker. I really thought Larry Nance Jr. was going to get the start. I was really shocked when they went J.R. Smith here. 6 points for Nance, 1 block, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. Still not really happening for him, man. I don't know if he's just not 100% from missing the beginning of the season with an injury. So let's keep an eye on this situation. Kyle Korver, not much going here with 7 points. We are not rostering him. Not too much else here. What do you think of the Cavs, Neil?
Yeah, I guess the first, we've talked a lot about Larry Nance's potential fantasy relevancy this year, and I took him late in one of my drafts and thought he would get the minutes eventually and all the stats, and it's just, even with all these injuries, he's still not in favor at all in that team. Even with the new coaching change, it looks like I thought maybe that would be the thing that would get him going and get him out there, and he can put up a double-double and get steals and blocks. It's just not happening for him this year. Like you said on Jordan Clarkson, his minutes, I think he's getting a little bit more minutes now because of the injuries. Usually he's averaging 20 in the mid-20s off the bench. Tonight he got 33 and put up a lot of stats he normally doesn't put up, like rebounds and assists, but good for him tonight. I would definitely put him on my watch list. Yeah, J.R. Smith, if you need threes and he's getting a start, you can stream him for that. I'm not sure I trust him anywhere else, and I hope. What are you buying Tristan Thompson? Did you say? Are you gonna put him on any of these lineups? I know you started streaming him. How's he working out?
Yeah, I mean, he's actually working out pretty good because he's been putting up some double doubles with some low end blocks, but not great. I'm just really desperate in some 14-team leagues, Neil, where, I believe I dropped, who did I drop? I dropped someone that I don't even remember, meaning they were not important. So, I am streaming him in, I think, 2 leagues, and so far it's going okay.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to trust some of these Cavs, even with the minutes. It's just their talent is just kind of not great this year on this team. And then Rodney Hood, I still don't trust him. I mean, he didn't have a decent length, like you said, but only played 23 minutes. And we'll see how Sexton, I'm imagining he's going to head back to the bench once George Hill is back, like you said. And tonight, though, I think he is the future of this team. Played 42 minutes. And I think second half of the season, he's someone who should be owned. Maybe not just yet.
Hey, real quick, I want to mention George Hill, left shoulder injury. It's being called soreness, so it doesn't sound like anything serious. The Cavs are off until Saturday, so I'd expect Hill to be in this next one. Neil, I mentioned Cedi Osman. His injury is being called lower back spasms. So, I don't think that's anything serious as well, but backs can be tricky. But as I said, with them being off until Saturday, I would expect maybe Osman can be back in that one.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think it's serious either. If you own him, obviously just holding on to him. Anything else, or should we go on to the Oklahoma City side?
Let's move on.
All right. A big game from Dennis Schroeder, in replacement of Russell Westbrook, played 34 minutes, had 28 points on 11 and 19 shooting, 7 rebounds, 0 assists. That is so bizarre for me to read. Missed all his 3-pointers, did get a steal and a block. Paul George, kind of quiet night for not having Westbrook there, but did do solidly. 18 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a 3-pointer. Jeremy Grant had a decent line, 12 points, 8 rebounds, made both his free throws, had 2 3-pointers, a steal and a block. Steven Adams, 9 and 13 with 2 assists. Did go 3 of 6 from the line, but got you 2 steals and 2 blocks. And then Terrence Ferguson, one of these starters who doesn't play many minutes and doesn't really put up much stats. I'm going to avoid his line for sake of time, along with Abrinas, Patterson, Noel, Felton, and Diallo. Not much I'm taking away from this game. Schroeder obviously is streamable. If you picked him up, it's probably too late now. Nothing else really changes for me. Grant is still on my watch list. I'm not picking him up just yet. And then Ferguson and the rest of these sort of low end usage guys, I'm not really touching either. Any thoughts from you on Oklahoma City?
Schroeder is going to eat while Russell Westbrook is out. Make sure that he is in your lineup. Not a guy who's probably available in the majority of leagues, but you got to feel pretty safe about playing him while Westbrook is out. Now, as far as Westbrook is concerned, I don't know, man. I'm thinking we're going to maybe see him back sometime next week, maybe. And that's about all I got, man.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on that injury. From what we know so far, it's the high ankle sprain, and he should be back. Not too much long. Well, probably a handful of games. We'll see how long it goes. All right, do you want to take us to third game of the night?
Let's go to the next one, man. And the next game up I've got is the New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks. And the Knicks getting a win here, man. This is the battle of two pretty bad teams. So the Knicks squeaking it out 112-107. I'm going to start with the I'll tell you what, I'm going to start with the Hawks. And first guy I'm going to talk about is Kent Bazemore. 16 points, a steal, 3 assists, 7 rebounds. 4 of 16's not great, but did add a 3, did shoot 7 and 9 from the line. We'll take that. Young tonight with 15 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. Only shot 6 and 19. Not too great from him from the field, but he did have a 3 as well. 2 of 2 from the line. We'll take that. Neil, the one guy that kind of popped out at me is their rookie, Amari Spellman. Actually, I should say their other rookie because Trae Young's also a rookie. Spellman tonight, 28 minutes, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks, 3 threes. He literally did some of everything tonight. And Neil, at times he's flashed some of his upside at the beginning of the season, but this is the first time I've seen him put together a complete game, and this is intriguing to me. Now, we are missing John Collins. Kevin Huerter was out tonight as well. So, he does play in the front court, which is going to hurt when Collins comes back. So it's not like I'm rushing to grab him, but he's definitely on my radar. And then, who else? Taurean Prince tonight, 16 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 threes, 6 of 15 from the field. Jeremy Lim was okay with 9 points and 5 assists, a steal, a rebound, a 3. Nothing really from Dedmon, nothing really from Len. What are your thoughts on the Hawks, Neil?
A couple of things that jumped out at me were Prince coming off the bench. I don't know why that was the case. I don't know if it's just I know he's coming back from injury, but he did play 31 minutes, so it wasn't like he was limited in any way. Spellman, like you said, I would not overreact to this line. It's against they're at home against a bad team, and they've got some guys missing who usually take shots. His usage is not that high, and still only played 28 minutes, although he delivered. Bembry is someone I've been watching, and I'm just going to continue to watch. I think he has pretty good skills. Played 33 minutes tonight. Not a lot of usage, but did he did decently, I guess, for what his role is. Jeremy Lin is someone that I had targeted at the end of my drafts, thinking he might be usable, and now he's come back from injury. He's still working his way back in. I would not touch him just yet. If you need a low-end point guard, I'd rather have Augustine or we talked about Sexton or Reggie Jackson. Those guys are probably still there, one of those guys. And that's really it. Dedmon is someone I'm avoiding as well. If you have him on your team, I think he's going to be very inconsistent. And once Collins comes back, he becomes irrelevant. So look to either move from him once that happens or find someone else who can get rebounds and a couple blocks. That's my thoughts on Atlanta. Should we go on to New York?
Yep.
All right. So let's see. Oh, Tim Hardaway Jr. came back. Big line of the night for him. 37 minutes, 34 points on a really inefficient night, though. 8 of 22 shooting, 1 rebound, 3 assists. Oh, my gosh. 16 of 20 from the free throw line. 2 3-pointers, a steal and a block. Noah Vonleh with a solid game in 39 minutes, 11 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists. 2 3-pointers, 2 steals and a block. Damian Dotson gets a start as well. Just played 18 minutes. Not much to talk about there. Mitchell Robinson, likewise, 15 minutes, but just put up 5 points and 6 rebounds, but did have 2 blocks. Still not worth owning, I don't believe. Ntilikina, I believe he fouled out, but he did put up 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. I think this guy, I don't know why I have a fetish for Ntilikina. He's never delivered it fantasy-wise, but I've always wanted it to happen, and maybe I'm over-optimistic. Did have 2 3-pointers and a steal. And then this guy, whose attention you brought to me, who I now own in a league, Alonzo, I believe it's Trier, or it could be Trier, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, a 3-pointer and a steal. I really like watching him play. He is just, I think I know Knox is coming back, so that's probably going to hurt his value. But I think this guy, especially in deeper leagues, could be owned because he's doing work. And then Cantor is the other one I want to mention off the bench. Obviously, he's owned in every league. 17 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Hazonia, just 12 minutes. Moutier got 22 minutes. I don't trust him either. Right now, if anyone, I'm sort of like watching Vonleh. If you need a big man, if he's still there. And then Trier, if that's correct on pronunciation, I like as well. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Neil, I love I say Trier. I love Trier, man. He is so aggressive and not scared at all for an undrafted rookie. I mean, you can, as you saw tonight, this was a tight game, and he got 36 minutes played down crunch time. I'm not too worried about Knox affecting him, only because he plays in the backcourt and Knox plays in the front court. So I think he's going to get stronger and better as the year goes on, and I really like him, man. He's already gone in most of my leagues, so I'm glad you were able to get him. I love your take on Vonleh. His per 36 numbers are insane, and as we saw tonight, he got 39 minutes and had a big line, and if he can just continue to get big minutes, I think he'd be the guy. Very disappointed in Mitchell Robinson, Neil. I picked him up. I spent some big fab dollars on him when he had that big game last week. And it's not happening for him, man. Only getting 15 minutes tonight. Didn't look like he was in any foul trouble. So I'm going to hang on to him, though. But definitely not safe to put him in your lineup right now. All right, man. Shall we move on to the next one?
Let's do it.
All right. Next game I got up is the Spurs and the Heat. Let's see. Spurs actually losing. Heat getting the win tonight, 95-88. And I'm going to get into the Spurs side, man. I'm going to talk about DeMar DeRozan just continuing to have a very big season, Neil. 18 points, a block, 2 steals, 8 assists, 14 rebounds, 1 3, perfect 5 of 5 from the line, 6 of 15 from the field. Neil, he is man, he's just having a really great year, and I'm really happy to see it, man, because I felt really bad for him when he got traded in the offseason. Neil, currently in 9 category leagues, the number 12 player on the player radar right now, man. Okay, LaMarcus Aldridge, a little disappointing scoring, was only 2 of 14, but he did have 16 rebounds and 2 blocks, so made up for the lack of scoring there. Forbes tonight with a nice scoring line of 12 points. Actually, he didn't shoot too well, was only 4 and 12 from the field, but he did give you 2 threes and was perfect 2 and 2 from the line. Neil, I'm really worried if you own Forbes with White back. Now, White is only seeing limited minutes because he's working his way back from that foot injury, but eventually I think White is going to get the majority, the bulk of the minutes here, and Forbes is going to take a back seat. Last thing I want to note here, Bertans with a nice game, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 4 rebounds, an assist, a steal, a block in 26 minutes. Patty Mills, 20 points, 4 rebounds, had 4 threes tonight, was 8 of 22, took 22 shots tonight, Neil. Had the most shots out of anyone on this team. That's really interesting. Keep an eye on Patty Mills here, but I think with Derrick White back, that's going to kind of ruin Patty Mills' value. Not too much else to talk about. Oh, no Gasol in this one, no Rudy Gay in this one. So also some interesting things there. When those guys get back, definitely going to change the outlook of this rotation. What do you think of the Spurs, Neil?
Yeah, I think the one guy we were all watching tonight was Derrick White. Just got 16 minutes and had a very slow game or ineffective game. I'm a little cautious on running out and picking him up. Here's one Twitter question I had, and I'm going to run it by you, Adrian, and let you know what I did or what I responded. Someone asked me if they should drop Rudy Gay for Derrick White. Worried about injuries for Gay, and Derrick is a young guy and Rudy is not, but I think Rudy's role is very safe on this team. He puts up pretty decent stat lines and reasonable minutes, and Derrick White is such a risk. I mean, he could be fine, but this guy was not supposed to start this year. It was supposed to be DeJounte Murray's team or DeJounte Murray's role, and Derrick White was supposed to come off the bench. So just plugging him in, I'm not sure it's going to work out just yet from a fantasy perspective or reality. It's still going to be DeRozan who's kind of distributing the ball, scoring the points. Aldridge as well. Rudy Gay will get some of that when he's back. White, I think, is going to put up very modest fantasy stats, at least to start off, and I'm not buying him yet. So that was my take on him. Other than that, yeah, DeRozan, like we talked about the other night, so happy for him. He got heartbroken being ripped out of his home in Toronto and traded the Spurs, and he's just playing great basketball for a great team. So happy to see that happening.
Yeah, I like your take, Neil, on I still would lean Rudy Gay when you're comparing Rudy Gay to White. Look, Rudy Gay right now, like the 95th player in 9-cat leagues, and I feel like Rudy Gay's not even playing up to his potential. So, even though I do like Derrick White, his upside is capped because the emergence of DeMar DeRozan as a ball handler is going to cap Derrick White. And so, I think Derrick White's just going to be like a low-end scorer, but someone you can still rely on at the end of your roster. So I do like him. But yeah, I would lean slightly towards Rudy Gay. I like your take there, Neil. All right, man.
All right, so let's go over the Miami side, and this is the line of the night. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hassan Whiteside, 29 points, 20 rebounds, 9 blocks, 1 turnover, 9 of 11 from the line, 10 of 18 from the field, 2 assists. Oh, but no steals, so he kind of let you down there. And what a great game for him. This guy last year had a lot of negativity between him and management and coaching and injuries and, what his role was going to be. Don't take any three-pointers, Hassan. Tonight this year he's been very solid. Did miss a game due to knee injury, but he looks great. Good for him. Justice Winslow, another guy I'm watching, getting the start. I know he struggles with percentages, but tonight he puts up some decent numbers. 16 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Nothing defensively. Did get a three-pointer. Shot 7 of 17 from the field. Not terrible. And 1 of 1 from the line. Our favorite player on the team, though, Josh Richardson, played 38 minutes, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. A rough night shooting, 6 of 22. 2 3-pointers and 2 steals. And then this is where it gets confusing for me. Wayne Ellington getting the start at guard. Actually, not confusing because Dragic was out. So I thought Tyler Johnson might get the start. Anyway, Wayne Ellington got it. Played 37 minutes, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. Rodney McGruder still getting the minutes. 37 minutes in a victory. 4 points. Just had 4 points on 2 of 9 shooting. 10 rebounds, though. 4 assists. No defensive stats. He's still putting up low-end value. Maybe you traded high on him, but if you still have him, I think he's still worth starting out there. Off the bench, Adebayo, Olynyk didn't do much. This was all Whiteside all the time on the interior. So not much to talk about there. Tyler Johnson put up some very low-end stats in 32 minutes, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Did get 4 steals on a block, so defensively did phenomenally well. Wayne Ellington probably is going to put up numbers like this anytime soon again, assuming Dragic is coming back next game. But Winslow is someone I'm keeping an eye on. If he can turn around his percentages, this guy can be a top 100 player. I'm not sure it's going to happen. I know they're still waiting to get well, I don't know who else they're waiting to get back, but he may not see this many minutes every night. But it's been pretty consistent the last couple games. 31 minutes, 35 minutes, 37 minutes, 30 minutes. So we'll see. I'm monitoring him. I think he's still out there in most leagues. What are your thoughts on Miami?
I love your take on Winslow. I think Winslow needs to be scooped up. Someone just scooped him up in my home league, which is 14 teams. I think you got to jump on him, man. He is getting good minutes, getting really nice usage. And just know he's going to probably hurt your field goal percentage. Shot 7 of 17 tonight. That's not his strong suit, but he's looked pretty good. Real interesting night, Neil, because I just, Richardson, Ellington, Winslow, Magruder, like they all kind of play in the same that wing backcourt area, and they all got big minutes tonight. Like I don't even know how that's possible, but anyways, no Wade tonight, as you mentioned. No Dragic, who it sounds like he's got a knee injury, but doesn't sound like it's too serious, so I don't think he's going to miss too much time. Anyways, real interesting game here, man. All right.
Shall we move next on? One?
Yep. Next game I got up is the Sixers and the Pacers, and the Sixers getting the win here, 100-94. And Neil, I'm going to jump into the Pacers side and talk about my man Victor Oladipo. 36 points, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. 4 threes tonight, was 4 of 14 from downtown. He took a lot of threes. 14 of 30 from the field. That is a lot of shots. 4 of 6 from the line, man. His arms must be tired from all that shooting he did tonight, man. Crazy. Bogdanovic, Neil, this guy, I think he needs to be owned in deep leagues, 14 teams deeper. He scores, he gives you threes. Does a little tiny bit of everything. He did it again tonight. 13 points, a steal, assist, 5 rebounds, 3 threes, shot 4 of 11. Neil, Miles Turner continues to disappoint. 7 points. You'll take the 2 blocks and steal, but the 4 rebounds only took 8 shots, man. 2 of 8 from the field. Didn't have a 3. Man, this is just this is bumming me out. Thad Young only got 21 minutes here, 6 points, 2 steals, 5 rebounds. Darren Collison, a goose egg, 0 points. A steal, an assist, a rebound. This is really bad from Collison. Neil, a guy I own in a couple leagues, and I'm excited about. Sabonis has been a pretty good surprise this season. 16 points, a block, 3 assists, 11 rebounds. Neil, I got a trade offer in my home league. Cedi Osman for Sabonis, and I turned it down. And you know how much I like Cedi Osman, but I really like Sabonis, man. Joseph, 9 points, not much. Nothing really else to talk about here, Neil. What do you think of the Pacers, man?
Yeah, Miles Turner, another letdown. I think going into this game, Sabonis about 20 ranks higher than Turner on the player rater. And I talked about last time, what if Sabonis ends up higher than Turner at the end of the year? I think that's a distinct possibility. I'm not going to guarantee anything, but right now it looks like Sabonis is having a much better start to the season. Yeah, and then these are the nights that I'm really glad I dropped Darren Collison, because he puts up some clunkers. I didn't see any injury news on him. He only played 18 minutes. It looks like they went with Tyreek for 21 minutes, and then Corey Joseph really got a lot of backcourt play. Played 31 minutes, 9-4-4. Someone who's very much in deeper league only formats, but tonight delivered. So, yeah, Collison is someone I just don't trust, and although he's still hanging on in terms of being rosterable for many teams. And then, disappointment from Miles Turner. And like you said, Oladipo must be tired. That guy he's nuts. He's just so active out there. I love watching him play. Yeah,
he's so fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
He is so smooth, and he's just so energetic. But he's just so smooth, man. I love watching that guy too. All right, Neil, you want to take us in on the other side of this game?
Yeah. Oh, this was a good game for me to watch. I was trying to, I thought Philly was a little bit down this year, and Indiana, is coming up. So I was curious to see how this would play out. Looks like Philadelphia is a little bit better than them still. Embiid had the monster line for, well, it's a typical Embiid line: 20 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks, a steal, a 3-pointer. Let's see. How did Simmons do? 16 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists on 2 of 4 from the line, 2 blocks. Covington had a Covington night, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Saric had actually a good game for him, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 for 2 from the line, 4 3-pointers, just a single turnover. And then Markelle Fultz, still getting the start, but only playing 26 minutes, unlike the other starters who are playing in the mid-30s. He put up 7 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals. So you like the steals. I still don't. He's someone I drafted, and I drop in a 12-team league, and I'm not really even watching him at this point. I think he's kind of capped out these mid-20 minutes. And off the bench, J.J. Redick put up 10 points. He did have 6 assists, though. Missed all the 3-pointers. And Landry Shamet, I believe it's pronounced, or that's probably way off. 23 minutes, 12 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 3 3-pointers, and a steal and a block. I think this guy is also a deeper league owned person, a la the other ones we talked about tonight. He has now solidified his role on this team and is putting up decent fantasy value.
Yes.
Thoughts on Philly? Yes.
I believe J.J. Redick, it says here he played 29 minutes, but on my other box score, it's showing he left due to a hand injury. Must have been minor, because I believe he returned to this game. So just want to note that. Neil, I was doing some research before the game started tonight, and the hiccup is back in Markelle Fultz's shot, man. I saw some footage of him taking a free throw, and it was ugly, man. I do not know what's going on with this guy, Neil. It makes no sense. In college, he had a beautiful stroke. So I don't know why all of a sudden, man, it is the ugliest thing, man. There's no fluidity in his stroke. It's like he's just like forcing it up, and there's like a point in his shot where man, I can't even describe it, dude. But I am really bummed on Markelle Fultz. Man, it's not looking good for him this season, and I don't know what's going on with him. All right, dude, that's all I got. Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's go on. We got still the games keep on going. Where do you want to go next?
I was thinking of going to the Bulls and the Pelicans, and the Pelicans getting the win here, 107-98. Neil, I'm going to save the Pelicans for you because I know you love talking about Anthony Davis. I'm going to go over to the Bulls side, and Neil, one guy that I have been pretty excited to see because he has really come on strong lately is Wendell Carter Jr. 17 points, 3 blocks, 1 steal, 11 rebounds, 7 of 11 from the field. He even added a 3 tonight, 2 of 3 from the line. Neil, it was a slow start to begin the season, but the light went off, man. It has clicked for him. He looks locked and loaded. You must be ecstatic if you drafted Wendell Carter right now, because it looks like he's set to go off for the rest of the year. Zach LaVine's been having a really good season. The shot was a little off tonight, was 9 of 26. That's not great, but still gave you 22 points, a block, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 threes, was a perfect 2 of 2 from the line. Neil, Holiday is a guy who is available in some of my shallower leagues, and when he, nights like this, it makes me wonder if I need to scoop him up. 17 points, a block, 3 steals, 2 assists, 1 rebounds. He took 12 threes tonight, only made 3 of them, but was a perfect 2 of 2 from the line, 6 to 16 from the field. Nice game there. Parker, a guy I'm not a big fan of, Neil, but had a pretty good game here. 20 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, 7 of 14 from the field, 6 of 6 from the line. Campaign not doing too much here, only 4 points. Did give you 3 steals, which is kind of nice. The bench was pretty quiet. Also, we're still missing Dunn is out for a long time. Portis is out for a long time. Markkanen probably still a few weeks away, if not maybe more. So we're missing quite a bit of players here. Neil, what are your thoughts on your Chicago Bulls?
Yes, I wish it was my Wendell Carter Jr. as well. This guy is looking phenomenal. You talked about him in the preseason as one of your favorite players after watching the Summer League, and he is now delivering consistently. And just on an NBA level, he's great to watch. We also talked about not picking up Cameron Payne. Doesn't do much at all. Justin Holiday sneakily is just doing okay in the starting spot. And then Jabari Parker. This should be a lesson to all of you out there that you should be not as rash as me. I dropped him in one league after he was relegated to the bench, and I thought he was going to get limited minutes. Things have changed, and he played 36 minutes tonight and put up a fantastic fantasy line. So really bummed. I let him go in a deeper league, and he's gone forever. That's all I'm going to say. LaVine had kind of a rough night shooting. And we'll see. Yeah, Dunn is, I know, out till after Thanksgiving, probably December time frame. I'm assuming it's going to be the similar time frame for, I actually don't know on Portis and Markkanen, but I know they're both expected to come back at the same time, which is still a ways away. All right, should I take on New Orleans? Are you ready?
Yes, please.
All right, yeah. So if you love the NBA, you have to love, well, you don't have to, but I think you have an appreciation, at least, for Anthony Davis. Harkening back to the beginning of our episode, we talk about these unusual talents. He falls into that category. 32 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 of 7 from the line, 2 3-pointers, a steal, 4 blocks. And he's just a pleasure to watch. The second guy I'm going to talk on is Drew Holiday. Had a great night, almost triple-doubled, 17 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. 3-pointer, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He is, I think, coming close to living up to his late second-round status, if not already there. Mirotic outperforming his draft status tonight. Had 9 points, 15 rebounds, and assists. 3-pointer and a block. Etuan Moore, kind of a low-scoring night for him. Just 3 of 9. 8 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block. Wes Johnson getting the start. That's a position they're still trying to figure out who to put in there. And Wes Johnson got 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal and a block. It's not someone I'm really looking at. Julius Randle comes off the bench, played 24 minutes, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and a 3-pointer. He has been a very good addition to this team. That's really it. Ian Clark played 19 minutes. Darius Miller played 20 minutes. And Tim Frazier now out with just 8 minutes. I am looking forward to the day when Elfrid Payton comes back as well, as he's one of my injured point guards that I thought might come back tonight, but it looks like he's still at least one more game away, if not longer. Not much I'm taking away from tonight, except that these are the nights when you draft an Anthony Davis one, like I did in a couple leagues. Just so happy to see.
So Anthony Davis actually got hit in the face in this game in the fourth quarter. Julius Randle actually, he was standing behind Randle, and Randle's arm flew back, and his elbow or his arm nailed Anthony Davis in the face. It was a shot. Davis went to the locker room but came back. But when you saw the replay, it was a shot to the face. But when a guy gets hit in the face like that, Neil, you never think he's going to miss any time, right? Because it's not like a knee blowing out or an ankle going sideways or anything like that. So, but yeah, no worries here, man. Just, what a line by Anthony Davis, man. The reason, as we see here, why he's the number one player in fantasy. And not too much else to talk about, man. You covered it all. Shall we move into the next one? Do we got another game to talk about? I think the Nuggets and the Grizzlies.
Nuggets and Grizzlies, yep.
So I am very excited about this game, Neil, and you know why. But the Grizzlies getting the win here, 89-87. Two reasons why I got giddy when I was watching this game, Neil. Jaren Jackson Jr. with a beautiful line tonight. 20 points, 3 blocks, 3 steals, 7 rebounds, 7 of 15 from the field. He even gave you 2 threes tonight. This is the upside that we, or at least I, have been salivating over, Neil. So very happy to see this. Neil, the other reason why I was happy, finally, Kyle Anderson showing a pulse here, man, showing some signs of life. I'm still holding on to him in a couple leagues, Neil. 14 points, a steal, assist, 5 rebounds. He added a 3. I'll take this. Thank you. Welcome to the NBA season, Kyle Anderson. I hope you are here to stay. Mike Conley, 4 points, a steal, 8 assists. Wasn't really happening for him tonight. Was only 2 of 9. Hit some clutch shots down the stretch in this one, though, to help him get the win. Marc Gasol doing his thing, doing work tonight. 20 points, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 4 assists, 12 rebounds, a 3. Who does this guy think he is? Does he think he's JJJ? I mean, geez Louise, man. Neil, Garrett Temple, a guy that I know a lot of people are streaming in deep leagues. This is his floor right here, man. This is the reason why I'm not super high on him. Only took 4 shots in 30 minutes. That's super low usage. So when he doesn't provide you any defensive stats, or he only had 2 rebounds, it's a real low productive night. Neil, off the bench, not too much. Mac is a guy who was a real popular pickup. Only got 19 points in this one with 6 points, 4 assists. Neil, this was a really close game. It went down to the wire. So I'm actually taking a lot into like what the rotation here looked like. And so, yeah, this is a little worrying about Shelvin Mack. Neil, what are your thoughts on this team?
Yeah. Well, it's good to see JJJ break out like this. He's had a couple of these games, and he kind of had a little backslide into at least the stat categories, and now it's another good one for him. Phenomenal talent. Good to see Kyle Anderson, have a little uptick in his line. Marc Gasol, someone who, Adrian, I didn't draft him last year because I thought he might fall off the wagon. So I certainly wasn't drafting him this year. This guy is just phenomenal. I've always liked him. I was just worried that, age was going to catch up to him and the injuries. And, man, God bless him. He's just playing so well. And then Conley, and not just playing well, but, like, they're winning. They're beating Denver, who's a very good team. They held them to 87 points. They're a high-flying offensive team. Gasol is a big part of that. Conley, slow night, like you said, but he's okay. Temple, yeah, someone who I just don't. He has to score, otherwise he doesn't have any value, and you're gonna have games like this. And then finally, Shelvin Mack. I was not a believer in him, and like you said, I don't think he's worth tonight might be a good indication that he's going to have some of these nights. This is probably more the norm, I think, than what we saw the last couple nights. So anyway, I'm going to go over to Denver side unless you have anything else to add.
Nope.
All right. You know how I complained the other night because Nikola Jokic only had 3 shots? Did you see how many shots he had tonight?
Oh, I know. Really late in the game, he didn't have a single shot yet, and it was pretty late.
He took one. He took 1 shot. Jamal Murray took 21. Gary Harris took 16. Monte Morris took 10. And Nikola Jokic took 1. This may be the reason they lost. Anyway, I'm going to start with him because he's my favorite player on this team. 26 minutes. It looks like the second unit got a lot more run than the first unit, at least by their normal standards. 4 points for Jokic, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 for fours on the line, 3 steals. At least he got some stats worth compiling tonight. Jamal Murray, who almost got 50 points the other night, tonight put up 15 on 6 of 21 shooting, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and a steal, and 2 3-pointers. Gary Harris had 3 3-pointers, 20 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and no defensive stats. Paul Millsap, a very quiet game, just 20 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. These are the games we were worried about, and just a steal. Torrey Craig still gets a start, but doesn't really play that many minutes tonight, 20 minutes, and just 5 points, 3 rebounds. Trey Lyles, solid night off the bench. Again, the bench got a lot more minutes than typical. I would not read anything to these lines, but in 28 minutes, Trey Lyles got 16 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 3-pointers, a steal, and a block. Monte Morris, 26 minutes as well, 8 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Miles Plumlee, 10, 6, and 1. Hernan Gomez, 7, 5 with a block. I am not changing anything on my thoughts here except, I mean, as a Denver fan, you've got to be so frustrated that Jokic takes 1 shot. I mean, he's not out there for his defense, Adrian. He's out there to run the offense and put the ball in the basket. I don't know what's going on.
Neil, I saw this a lot from him last year. He got off to a slow start last year, really deferred, and you kind of like that he loves to pass and facilitate, but the flip side is games like this. And, when people were talking about putting him up at the top of the first round with these alpha killers like Kevin Durant and Giannis, I could not do it, man. But then he just came out of the gate hot to start the season, got out to a blistering pace. And then I thought, you know what? I was wrong about Jokic, man. He deserves to be up there. But nights like tonight is why I don't think he's part of the elite, the royal elite of the top of the fantasy food chain, because he's not a killer as we saw tonight. Still a fantastic player. I don't want to make it sound like I don't like Jokic. He's amazing, man. But sometimes he just really doesn't look for a shot at all. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I agree. No, he did get in foul trouble, had 5 fouls and 6 turnovers, so it wasn't a great night for him. Maybe he was frustrated by Gasol, but still, I mean, the coach has to run plays for him. I mean, they've got to call timeouts and make that adjustment. Anyway, but you're right. He is not someone who is like Giannis, who's looking to dunk on everyone every single time he touches the ball. All right. Should we go over to? Oh wait, I think we have one last game.
One more game, which I'm excited about because Neil, when we started this show, this game, the fourth quarter was just starting. So we've been recording so long that this game finished. So pretty excited about it. I'm going to jump into this one, man. I got to talk about my guy, Donovan Mitchell. Neil, he was probable coming into this one. So to see him play 33 minutes and get 23 points, 2 steals, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, shot a decent 9 of 17. He added 3 threes. I'm ecstatic to see this, knowing he could have completely missed this game. So pretty happy about that. Ricky Rubio only shot 3 of 13 for 10 points, but did also give you 3 steals and 12 assists. Neil, you and I have talked about the lack of assists from this guy. So very nice to see him get 12 assists with Donovan Mitchell in that backcourt as well. So that's really nice. Joe Ingles, I don't know. I haven't seen his box score, but I just feel like he's been a little disappointing to start this season. so far, 6 points. The 3 steals and 6 assists is really nice, actually. 2 rebounds, did have 2 threes, but I don't know, man. I just was expecting to see that Joe Ingles we had last year. Rudy Gobert, big double-double here. I say big double-double because not only did he get the 17 points and 10 rebounds, he added 4 blocks on top of that. You love that with the steal. Shot a beautiful 7 of 9 from the field. Did hurt you a little bit from the line here with 3 of 7 from the line. Favors in putting up a decent line here. 13 points, 3 blocks, 2 steals. Some beautiful defensive stats coming from Favors. 6 rebounds, 5 and 9 from the field. He even added a 3. This is actually a really good line from Favors. Neil Crowder, a guy who got scooped up in a lot of leagues, and I can see why now, man. 14 points coming off the bench. Actually got really decent run here in 30 minutes. Added 6 rebounds, a steal, had a 3 tonight, shot 6 of 12. Pretty decent game from him. And Alec Burks providing a spark off the bench as well. 18 points in 15 minutes is beautiful. 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 5. So was really shooting it well from downtown. But I don't think we're going to pick up Burks, or I don't think we're going to add him in any leagues. But really helped out tonight from a reality standpoint. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Jazz?
Yeah, I'm glad to see Mitchell back and playing 33 minutes and having a solid game and a pretty convincing victory over a limited Mavs team. Yeah, like you said, Rubio, good night for him on the assist. Ingles, I own him in one of my leagues. And yes, he started off a couple games really strong, but he has sort of been not doing great since then, the last couple weeks. Favors, I thought about dropping in one of my teams, but I'm holding on to him, and he's doing just enough to keep me around. And then I did pick up Jay Crowder. You know, I was thinking of who is a 3-and-D guy I want to pick up. It was Jay Crowder. He's getting around 30 minutes a game, 14 points. You know, not great, but only he took 6 3-pointers. So I think he's going to make 2 of those usually. And then we saw back in Boston, he knows how to steal. He led the league in steals a few years ago. Not saying he's going to come anywhere close to that, but Utah's a defensive first team, and so I think he might get over 1 to 1.5 steals a game eventually. Yeah, that's my takeaway on this. Should I head over to Dallas?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Luka Doncic, 24 points. Wow. I think this is why you and I both argued he should have been the number 1 player taking the draft. 6 points, 24 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 7 of 7 from the line, 3 3-pointers. Harrison Barnes, 14 points, 5 rebounds, no assists, 4 for 4 from the line, 2 3-pointers. DeAndre Jordan did not. I'm looking at his free throw line. 7 of 8, Adrian. He's still above 80% on a pretty sizable number of free throws now. I think he's over 50 at the very least. Probably way more than that. 11 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal and 2 blocks. Wesley Matthews, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. I took Crowder over Matthews, but tonight Matthews had the better line in terms of picking up a guy. And then Dennis Smith Jr. Just took 6 shots tonight, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 turnovers. And then this is the one other Twitter question I wanted to run by you. Someone asked me if you should have Harrison Barnes or Malcolm Brogdon in a 10-team league. I don't think either one is ownable in a 10-team league. That was my first response. My second response is I would take Brogdon. It's a head-to-head 9-cat league. And unless you need points, then I would take Barnes. But I think there are better options out there in usually 10-team leagues. Any thoughts from you on Dallas or what I mentioned about that Twitter question?
Firstly, on the Twitter question, I agree with you, man. If your team's really deep, I think it's definitely possible that you have better players on your team than Barnes or Brogdon. But, you'd be surprised, man. For like my rest of season rankings, I got Barnes in the 80 range. So I think he's still worth owning in a 10-team league, but like at the end of your roster. And like I said, if your team is loaded, there's a good chance that your worst guy might not be is probably better than Barnes. But I do think he is worth owning. And then, as far as Brogdon goes, I got Brogdon kind of in that same range as well. So I can see both guys being ownable. It all depends on your situation. Who's your worst guy? I wish whoever asked you that question told you who their drop is, because that would be really interesting to see that. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention, Neil, and it's about Luka Doncic. I saw Tommy Beer posted this on Twitter, and I thought this was amazing, man. Luka Doncic is averaging 19.8 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4.4 assists. Only 3 other players in NBA history have done that their rookie season at this point. Neil, the 3 other players who've done this is pretty mighty company. Oscar Robinson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. Neil, if we had to vote for Rookie of the Year right now, would it be a landslide that it would go to Luka Doncic as of right now?
I mean, Ayton's putting up some pretty good stats too, but I'm definitely biased towards Doncic. But yes, maybe that's because I had him higher going in. But I think the case can be made for Ayton. I haven't seen too much of him, but I know he's had some pretty gaudy stats as well. But yeah, I would vote for him.
I'm so amazed. Neil, I loved Doncic coming into this year. I was super high on him, and he's exceeding my expectation. I thought he'd have some trouble with his shot, and his shot looks great. Dirk Nowitzki had a really interesting comment. He said that when he compares himself as a rookie to Doncic, Dirk says that Doncic walks around or has this swagger that he didn't have as a rookie. Like, he's so confident in himself. He knows that he belongs. And Dirk was saying he didn't feel that way as a rookie. Like, he felt more scared, and you don't see that fear in Doncic at all. And man, I'm telling you, Neil, I'm trying to really soak in this rookie year because, Neil, could we go back and look at Michael Jordan's rookie year or LeBron James's rookie year? We take it for granted. And that's why, man, I am really trying to soak up what we're seeing from Doncic, because I think we're seeing a future legend, and I want to remember this first year, man. So great.
Yeah, I mean, he has the potential to be an all-time great, or at least a Hall of Famer for sure. So, and then you know what? Next year we can soak up Zion as he comes into the league, just to bring it all back.
Man. I'm so excited. Neil, promise me when we're done sometime tonight. I know you're so busy and it's late and you still got another game to talk about. But that video I sent you, only 3 minutes long, highlights of his high school senior year. I cannot wait to see your thoughts on Zion, man. He's going to blow you away.
Yeah, I can't. I want to watch it. I love watching these young superstars come up. Anyway, I know you've got responsibilities, so I gotta let you go. You want to sign off, and then I'll be back with the last couple of games.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to the show. Hit me up at Twitter at Adrian Benjamins. We'll be back tomorrow for another exciting slate of games, and Neil will be returning shortly. Thank you, guys.
Okay, before we get on to the last couple games of the night, there is something I want to play for you all. It is a conversation of the one, the only Dan Vesperis with Mike Apotria. He is someone who is our DFS specialist here, and we're going to take a break, and it's going to be a promo from Dan and Mike on our partnership with DraftKings.
So I wanted to make sure to highlight one of the really cool new things we've got going on at Hoopball, and that is the DraftKings Hoopball Beat the Expert competition with our very own Mike Apotria. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Dan. What's going on, man? How's your afternoon going?
Oh, just, hanging in there. Same old stuff. Okay, so let me make sure I got this right. This contest is going to be weekly on Thursdays, and the very first one is the 8th of November, which, depending on when you're listening to this podcast, could either be tomorrow or today, I guess, if you're, depending what day. Tell me a little bit about it, because, again, I don't fully understand DFS stuff. How does it work? What are the advantages to joining this particular contest? I would assume that means you're in it.
Definitely in it. I'll be in it for sure. Even if it wasn't a Beat the Expert contest, I would love to get in here and play with our listeners. But it is a Beat an Expert contest, and there is a 50-person lobby. So we're looking to fill this thing up, fill it up as fast as possible. You can reserve an entry. It's not a multi-enter, so you can only get one entry in it. So you don't have to worry about guys like me pumping 10 entries in there and taking up a bunch of spots. Because as of right now, I do only have one T-shirt. I'm looking to double that. I'd love to see you guys try to take me down, but getting first isn't the only way you win it. We're paying out in the top 10. You get $15 back for anybody that places in the top 10, and it's only a $3 enter. So I say come down and give it a shot.
Fantastic. So they don't actually have to beat you. I think it would be enjoyable for them if they did. But the top 10 each get $15. The number one guy gets $15 and a hoop ball T-shirt, which for those of you that have watched my live shows on Fridays, you've seen it a number of times. It's really good, actually. Adrian Benjamin's, our very own Adrian, produces those things. They're fantastic. It's a pretty sweet deal. And it sounds like, and again, my understanding of DFS is a little bit limited. I know this much. I know that you can find the link to this contest through the Hoopball website and the Hoopball Twitter page. You go to @HoopballFantasy. We've been sending the link out. Mike, I know you've been sending the link out. Your Twitter account is @MikeApotria. Apotria is that last name. It sounds to me like, well, how does this differ from a regular contest? Is the payout usually not that great? This sounds better to me.
Well, it depends. I mean, there's multiple types of contests you can enter. We talked about it a little bit in a previous podcast where there's your 50-50 and your big tournaments. But the difference between this contest is, you're playing me. I mean, I'm in a bunch of them, but it's a much smaller field. And you kind of, at the end of the day, you'll get to see how I constructed my lineup. If you're kind of new to the game and you don't really understand how exactly the salary works and how to construct maybe a 2-center lineup and things of that nature, and what a big lineup or a big slate might look like, you'll get a better understanding following the day. Even if you lose, you're kind of still winning. You mean you're paying $3, but you also might get to see how an expert, I guess I'm flattered that you guys call me that, does it. And to me, that alone could be worth the money. And you get to join this great community over here at Hoopball. This is something we're looking to run weekly. And maybe if you don't take it down this week, you know who you're playing next week, because we're trying to get the same guys in it week in and week out.
I got to admit, I'm tempted, and I don't even know what I'm doing. For premium subscribers, by the way, Mike is also going to be chatting on Wednesday in the late morning Pacific time about DFS stuff. So if that hasn't already passed by, you should check that out as well. Mike, looking forward to DraftKings Beat the Expert podcast number 1 coming up on Thursday, November the 8th. Good luck to you.
Thank you, and good luck to you and anybody else who wants to come in here and take a stab at it. Do your research, because maybe I'll talk a little bit that day, but I might keep a little bit of the information, because I do want that second T-shirt real bad. That's
right. We got to get Mike his second T-shirt. We got to get you guys your first T-shirt. Again, it is the Hoopball Beat the Expert DraftKings promo. It's Thursday, November 8th, and weekly on Thursdays. You can, however, reserve your entry ahead of time. Again, it's a $3 room. Top 10 slots pay $15 a piece. 50 people max, so it's actually, by all accounts, a relatively easy win. Nothing's an easy win, but it's an easier win than some things out there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Go get the link. I'll make sure to retweet it as well if you already follow me at Dan Besbris. Again, you can follow at Mike Apotria, at Hoopball Fantasy. It's going out through all of those channels. Join us. It's going to be a blast. Mike, once more, thanks again.
Thanks for having me, and good luck. Hope to see you in there.
Okay, on to the last 2 games of the evening. Toronto defeats Sacramento 114-105. On the road, Toronto is looking very impressive. Kawhi Leonard is back, played 31 minutes, had 25 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists. Did have 5 turnovers, but still had a very solid game. His partner in crime back there, Kyle Lowry, first time in a long time, I believe, that he did not get to 10 assists. Or maybe I'm just making that up. But anyway, it seems like he gets 10 assists all the time. He had 8, though, tonight, 16 points, 2 rebounds, 2 of 3 from the line, 2 3-pointers, 3 steals. Kawhi also had 2 3-pointers. Someone I am big on and may already be owned in all your leagues. But Pascal Siakam, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, playing 35 minutes, 8 of 11 from the field, 5 of 5 from the line, 2 steals. Did miss both of his 3-pointers. Serge Ibaka has been playing a lot recently and getting the starter's role. Double-double with 14 points, 4 rebounds, 6 of 10 from the field, 2 3-pointers, 3 blocks, harkening back to the old days of Serge. Danny Green played 31 minutes, 6, 5, and 2. Off-night shooting just 2 of 10, including 2 of 8 from 3-pointers and 1 steal. Off the bench, OG Anunoby played 24 minutes, 11, 7. Valanciunas, his minutes are just so small now these days, or so low, I should say. Just played 20 minutes, 11 points, 10 rebounds. Someone who I thought was going to have a very solid year, perhaps even have an uptick in minutes under this new Nick Nurse coaching staff, but did have a block, but really not doing enough to be, or at least not returning his draft value. Siakam, I guess, is owned everywhere, but if you're in a 10-team league and he happens to be out there, I would pick him up. Not much insight there. OG Anunoby still on the outside looking in, maybe a deeper team league target. Van Fleet played 21 minutes. Is not someone I think is really fantasy relevant. Same with DeLon Wright. On the Sacramento side, Bogdanovic came back tonight. Did not get the start, but everyone was sort of watching to see how that would play out along with Nemanja Bjelica. Someone asked me if we on Twitter the other day if you should drop Bjelica for Bogdan. I said not just yet. But tonight it didn't look like a bad idea. Nemanja only played 19 minutes. Did have 4 fouls, so he was in trouble, but only went 0 for 5 from the field. 0 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, 4 steals and a block though. But nights like these are why he was not drafted, not expected to do well. I don't think he's going to have I think his role is going to be diminished going forward. I think he might at some point be on the outside looking in standard leagues, 12-team leagues. But right now I would hold him unless that Bogdan is out there. And maybe it's okay now to take him because I've always liked Bogdan's game. Tonight, 7 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Just played 18 minutes. I feel like he will be a much bigger part of this rotation in a couple weeks from now than Bjelica. That's just my gut feeling. Based on observation, what I've read, and then what I've seen, but nothing definitive yet to know how that's going to play out. Iman Shumpert, 29 minutes. He may also be a casualty of Bogdan coming back. I'm not sure yet. He did play 29 minutes to have 6 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists. I can't see that 6 assist number ever staying up there. 2 steals perhaps can, and 1 3-pointer. Buddy Hield, someone I love this year and is producing very well. 24 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. 3 of 3 from the line, 3 3-pointers, and a steal. De'Aaron Fox, someone I did not think was going to have a great year. Thought was more of a low-end starter because of his percentages. I have been proven quite wrong about that. This guy, I knew he was going to have the keys to the kingdom, but I did not know he would deliver this well. Tonight, 20 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists. He did have 2 of 4 from the line, so he struggled a little bit there, but two 3-pointers and did have 5 turnovers. Marvin Bagley got 25 minutes, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 of 2 from the line, and a block. Kostas Koufis played 14 minutes off the bench, along with Troy Williams. Justin Jackson and Frank Mason. Harry Giles did not get in the game. Someone who I thought, at least coming into the year, looked like he might be a solid role player. Not sure that how much he'll get in terms of time. Right now, I think the only player... Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot Willie Cauley-Stein. He probably had the best line of the night. 33 minutes, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 10 of 15 shooting, 4 or 5 from the line of 3... 1 steal, 1 block. Cauley-Stein, of course, you can trust. Hield, you can trust. Fox, you can trust. And then I think Bogdan is going to fall into that grouping as well. Maybe the 4th, though, in the hierarchy in terms of player value, player rater value, but I think at some point he will become among those that you can trust on the Kings. In my opinion, I think Bjelica and Shumpert will fall out of favor at some point, but I don't if you're someone who likes to gamble and try to get ahead of the curve, I think you do it now. If you are a little more risk averse, hold on to Bjelica. Certainly that can always come back and backfire, but that's a move I would do. Anyway, that'll do it for this game. And then we have one more. Minnesota, Los Angeles just wrapped up. The Lakers hold off the Kings 114. The Timberwolves 114-110. Minnesota has just no offensive flow at all. This is just such a badly coached offensive team, and they don't even do well on defense. Anyway, on the Minnesota side, Derrick Rose has the green light, and he is not backing down. With a Butler and Towns in there, he still put up 17 shots, made 11 of them, 31 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. A great streamer if you're able to pick him up. 7 and 9 from three-point land, so 7 3-pointers. Butler played 43 minutes, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. 1 for 1 from the free throw line, 5 3-pointers himself, 3 steals and 2 blocks. He is a fantasy beast. I don't know what's going on here. I thought he would be long gone before this game was played. I thought he'd be gone by the first game of the season. Then I thought he would be gone about a week ago. Now I have no idea. And I don't know when he's going to play. So unfortunately, I guess his owners don't either. Towns played 39 minutes, kind of an off shooting night, 5 of 16, got 13 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, but did get 5 blocks and a steal and a 3-pointer. Andrew Wiggins, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. He also got 14 shots. It was very equally spread around among the starters, at least the shooting attempts tonight. 3 3-pointers for Wiggins, 3 steals and a block. Very strong line. Taj Gibson, 16 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. He also had 3 3-pointers, 2 steals. So they are shooting the 3 at a high volume. At least Tibbs understands that part of the game now. Not just a defensive-minded coach, but offensive flow. I did watch this game, seemed really poor. Tyus Jones, 12 minutes off the bench. Josh Okogie, someone who I picked up in a deeper league, just 12 minutes. I think he will get double these minutes if Jimmy Butler leaves, which at this point I think is I have no idea about. Anthony Tolliver, I thought at one point might get into a timeshare with Taj Gibson. That has not panned out. Only played 10 minutes tonight. Gorgie Jang, 9 minutes. And a very modest stat line. On the Lakers side, led by LeBron James, 39 minutes, 24 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 3-pointers for himself, and 2 blocks. Kyle Kuzma had a nice line, 21 points, 2 rebounds, and assists, 4 3-pointers, and a steal. JaVale McGee. One thing I want to bring up about him, he was not in the game late. Tyson Chandler, as I'm sure most of you know, is now with the Lakers after being bought out by the Suns. Played the final minutes, played 23 minutes. McGee, 25 minutes. I expect this to be somewhat of a timeshare. I think McGee will get around the 25-minute range, and Tyson will get the rest. So not unexpected in terms of minutes, a little unexpected in terms of Tyson Chandler closed the game. McGee had 16 points, 4 rebounds, 8 of 10 from the field, and no defensive stats, no assists. Lonzo Ball, very quiet night, played just 21 minutes. 3 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 of 6 shooting, 1 of 2 from the line, 3 steals. Brandon Ingram had a very solid line, played 35 minutes, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 of 2 from the line, 2 3-pointers, and a steal and a block. And this is what kind of makes me nervous about Ball. One, Rondo can come in sometimes and outperform him, and he'll get more minutes. Like tonight, Rondo got 27 minutes, 2 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists, 1 of 7 shooting. I had Rondo at one point. I dropped him. I don't think you can trust he will get 27 minutes. These numbers of minutes could easily be flipped with Ball. The problem with Ball, though, is he's also such a, even though he's such a high IQ basketball player, he's very willing to defer to other people and only take a limited amount of shots. And when it's not falling, he'll much rather pass the ball, and he'll put up lines like this. Unfortunately, they won't be a rarity. They won't be all the time, but they'll happen enough that it might be frustrating. Especially when you have guys out there who want to score and want to shoot, like Ingram, like Kuzma, like LeBron. Josh Hart off the bench played 21 minutes, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 5 3-pointers, 1 steal. This guy I thought was going to be fantasy worthy this year. He's been dropped in most leagues that I've seen. Tonight put up a good 6-man role. Fantasy-wise, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was out of the rotation, essentially 13 minutes. Lance Stevenson was out of the rotation tonight as well, 4 minutes for him. One thing I would take away from this is I know Kuzma can put up gaudy numbers. I still don't think he's going to be retaining his value. He might get drowned out with LeBron, Ingram, and McGee having a good year. I think Kuzma will be okay, but he's going to have some really off-night shooting. Don't know what to think about Brandon Ingram. For someone who gets a lot of usage and can do a lot of different things, his fantasy value is a little bit not as well valued as I expect. But anyway, I love watching him play, and hopefully he'll continue to put up lines like tonight. And I think that is all. Thanks for listening to the box score breakdown for November 7th games. Wednesday, November the 7th. I will be back on with Adrian tomorrow. And with that, we'll talk to you then.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.